30,000 people the day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All In Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Just lay down.
Now.
It's 7 a.m.
It's 7 a.m. Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico
for 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, as I watched it all play out, and you did too, and it was entertaining football. I mean, all the games over the weekend were really, really good. But in my mind, I was listening to almost every coach's pregame message. I mean, we got to make plays, and we can't turn the ball over, and avoid big penalties, and you're thinking cliche, except for the team who turns the ball over tends to lose the most. And cliches are cliches because they're based in fact and truth and experience. And the teams who didn't turn the ball over won. The teams who turned the ball over are not moving on. And we have a Final Four set in the National Football League, which you expected probably most of it. And there's one that's crashing the party. Good morning, boys and girls. Happy Monday. Happy Martin Luther King Day. Happy Inauguration Day. Happy matinee basketball. Whatever it is to you. Glad you're with us on the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. How you living?
Well, what it do?
How was the weekend?
It was good.
Good. You had a good trip up to Colorado. It was chilly up there. Got a good win.
Yeah, it got about 4 or 5 inches of snow Friday night.
Yeah, it looked like it. And then it was the Lobos who came out hot. Colorado State cold, and Lobos held on. And nice. That's a good road victory for Lobo women.
That's 2 really good road wins.
Yep.
At San Diego State and at Colorado State, places they just have not won at.
All alone in second place right now behind UNLV are the Lobo women. We'll get there. We'll get into the Lobo men who play today, an afternoon game, 3 o'clock out at University Arena, the Pit, after an 84-65 bombasting of Boise State on Friday night. Coming off a loss in San Jose where you kind of scratched your head a little bit. They ran the Broncos out of the building, 23-2 first half run. And, I mean, they kicked Boise State's butt. Just dominated them the other night. That was as good as I've seen the Lobos play this year.
It's as good as you've seen them play in a long time. In that, against an opponent like that, coming off the San Jose State game, just, the questions that are out there with this team, they're good, but you have that, okay, are they one that's going to be able to bounce back? And the answer is absolutely. What they did to Boise State was one of the most impressive performances you're going to see in conference play from any of these teams. And this team, when they play inside out, they start scoring off their defense, they are a problem.
I was trying to explain that to Audra. She's like, so why are they, what are they doing so well? I said, well, watch what they're doing. Because Boise State had no answer for Nelly Jr. Joseph, especially in the first half. None. And the pressure defense, the way they were swarming, they absolutely rattled the Broncos in the Pit on Friday night, 9 o'clock start. All right, we'll get all there. The football was special this weekend. It was. Jaden Daniels is different. The Buffalo Bills are moving on. we can have our conversations as everybody will about Lamar. Is it about Lamar? Is it, well, I mean, he doesn't advance and Josh Allen does. And it was a big game, and one of those guys was not going to get through the first round, and it was a shame, or the second round. It was a shame, but it was going to happen that way. Patrick Mahomes moves on. The Rams were so close, dude. Oh, so close. I thought that was that was going to be a terrific special win, but they got Saquon again. But I want to start with the Bills and Ravens, and I want to start with a couple of things. There's going to be narratives, and I've got certainly my thoughts. One quarterback advanced, one didn't. Is it all on Lamar? It is not all on Lamar. You're going to tell me he made the plays at the end, and you're not wrong. And Mark Andrews dropped the ball, and all that's right. And one thing that's been lost in this, and it shocks me that it's been lost in this so much. You know, the narrative is that Mark Andrews dropped the ball that would have put the game into overtime. You guys, there was a minute 33 left, and Josh Allen had 2 timeouts. Why are we supposed to think Josh Allen wasn't going to go down and win that game? I almost feel what they did is take away that moment from Josh Allen to give him the opportunity to go down and win a game in that moment. Josh Allen didn't turn the ball over. Lamar Jackson did twice. He had a fumble. He had an interception. The guy who turns the ball over usually loses. So is it all on Lamar? It is not. Did Josh Allen play better than Lamar? I don't know. You go and look at the numbers and you tell me Lamar had 254 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and an interception to Allen's 127. Josh Allen ran for 2 touchdowns. I felt like Sean McDermott got way too conservative in the second half, especially coming out. And I hated the second down call on the goal line. I thought he made the right call kicking the field goal. I do. In the moment, I would have kicked the field goal. You got to go up by 8 because if not, they go down, they beat you, right? And so I thought it was right. I just thought they got too conservative. But that was the play, and they would have gone to overtime. And if they win the coin flip, and dude, Josh Allen was going to have a minute 33 and 2 timeouts to get the ball back.
Yeah, it was a play to tie the game. It was not a play to send it to overtime. It would have put some pressure back on Buffalo, who was moving the football, but Baltimore had made some defensive plays.
They had.
And so you missed that opportunity. And what did Baltimore do throughout the game? They dug themselves a hole that was too much to come out of, whether it was Lamar's turnovers, Mark Andrews' turnovers, the drop that was 2 2-point conversions that were unsuccessful by Baltimore. You take away the chance of having to force Josh Allen to make a play. Do you trust him to do that? Absolutely. But it wasn't, you're correct, it wasn't just to send it to overtime, because they would have had it gone back out there and found a way to keep Buffalo from moving right back down the football field. But you look at Lamar Jackson, it's another playoff game with multiple turnovers. It's him now 1-4 in the division or conference championship games. And a lot's going to be put on Lamar and, of course, Harbaugh at this point in time for having that quarterback not getting it done. But we also got to remember, we're judging the best quarterbacks in the game against each other right now. And that's these 3 guys in the AFC.
Jaden Daniels might not be far behind.
But he doesn't have to play Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes.
And you've got Joe Burrow in there.
Or
too.
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, and you've got Joe Burrow in there too.
And Joe Burrow went on his playoff runs where he beat Josh Allen. He's beat Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And that's what you got to do, is find a way to get past these guys to get to what is now, it was, the Tom Brady Classic, but it's now the Patrick Mahomes Classic in the AFC Championship.
Yeah, it is. Look, Lamar has to own this a bit. Now, did he bring them back? Did he drive them 90, whatever? No, I guess it wasn't 90 yards, something yards. It was a 70-yard drive. But did he make the play? The touchdown? Yeah. Did he make the pass that was good enough for a 2-point conversion? He did. But he also turned it over twice. And the stat that just is a stunner is that the Ravens are 0-43 in playoff games when they're -3 in the turnover margin. And the fact that they've been -3 in 43 playoff games is just bonkers to me. It can't even be right, can it? Maybe it's just in games overall. Yeah, I guess that's what it is, in overall games. But when they're -3, they're 0-43. And they were -3. You know what the Bills didn't do yesterday in a cold, semi-snowy condition? They didn't turn the ball over. And so if you want to sit here and stare at stats and tell me Lamar Jackson was better than Josh Allen, you can stare at all the stats you want. You better look at the one at the top of the page. The stat at the top of the page says the Bills move on. I'm happy for Josh Allen. And I'm not happy that Lamar lost, but you're going to be bummed for one of these guys because they're so good and they're just trying to break through and cement some sort of a legacy, because both of these guys is generational a fair term for both of them?
Yeah, these are one of them, or maybe even both of them at some point in time, which are going to go down as what-if quarterbacks because of who they have to go through to try to get a Super Bowl championship. But this is, you put it up there with any era of where you're talking about the best of the best, and these guys are there, yes.
I mean, certainly in their organizations, right? I mean, their generational was Jim Kelly and it was this guy. For the Ravens, it was this guy and nobody else. I mean, Trent Dilfer took them to a Super Bowl.
Joe Flacco, baby.
Flacco took them to a Super Bowl. Won a Super Bowl. But, I mean, he's not this guy. They're generational, certainly within their organizations. I feel bad for Lamar. But the point is, did he play better than Josh Allen? He didn't. He turned the ball over twice. He dropped the ball once, and he threw a bad interception. And the Bills capitalized on it. Did he lose the game? No, I don't know. He lost the game. They lost the game. And this whole, well, they would have it would have tried to gone to overtime, and if they would have won the coin. Whoa. Josh Allen was going to get the ball back with 1:33 and 2 timeouts. Like when they scored the touchdown, JJ, I thought, they scored way too early. That was my first inclination. I actually thought they were going to get the 2-point conversion, and my thought was Josh Allen was going to come down and set up Tyler Bass to kick a field goal and win the game. If they got the ball back, don't you feel he would have had a really solid chance
No doubt.
to go down and create something and have a legacy drive?
Yes.
Yeah. No, me too. So there was that one. There was Jaden Daniels. It's the best rookie season we've ever seen in the NFL. Ever. Like, give me Ben Roethlisberger as a rookie kind of rode that team to this. He was the quarterback, went to the Super Bowl. They've now have the same amount of wins, regular season and postseason. Ben Roethlisberger and Jaden Daniels. But Jaden Daniels is the orchestrator of this one. Jaden Daniels is the conductor of what's going on there. Jaden Daniels is making plays. 45-31, they went in and beat the Lions. That was the one game you were certain of who was going to win, wasn't it? That or the Chiefs? You were certain the Lions were going to win, weren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Jaden Daniels looks like he belongs in the conversation already with the guys that we're talking about atop the AFC. Cool, calm, collected, playmaker, inside the pocket, outside the pocket, never rattled, and to win back-to-back road playoff games, be an NFC championship game right now without even doing anything else, you can say this is the best rookie season a quarterback has ever had in the National Football League.
I mean, I'm listening if you got something better. I'm listening. I'm listening to better rookie season, period. Puka Nacua was pretty good. I mean, but he didn't go to the Super Bowl. Puka Nacua had an unbelievable rookie season 2 years ago as a receiver.
Brock Bowers just beat his reception total.
Yeah, Brock Bowers was really, really good. But it's a quarterback. I just as we go to break, I'll put it in perspective for you. And as you're thinking who had a better rookie season, the Commanders were so bad. They had the number 2 overall pick. They didn't trade up for the number 2 overall pick. They were so bad. They were the second worst team in the league last year. And now they're in the NFC Championship game, one game away from the Super Bowl. First time that franchise has been back in the NFC Championship game in 33 years. What's the difference? Well, they changed coaches. Dan Quinn was good. They brought in Cliff Kingsbury. But I will contend again. Players make plays. And that dude makes plays. I'm listening. You got a better rookie season ever? I'm listening. 22 for 31, 299 yards. He threw for 2 touchdowns. He ran for 51 yards. He didn't turn the ball over. They went into the number 1 seed and won by 2 touchdowns. They were the biggest dog of the week. I'm listening. 505-246-0610. Got a lot of football to do. I want your thoughts on the Final Four. It's the Commanders and the Eagles. It's the Chiefs and the Bills. 505-246-0610. Got a big deal going on for you, John Thomas Jewelers. Fellas, hear me. Valentine's Day's coming up, or maybe you're thinking about an engagement ring or an anniversary piece. John Thomas Jewelers right now is running an incredible deal. If you buy a ring or a necklace or any piece of amazing jewelry at John Thomas Jewelers between now and Valentine's Day, they are going to gift you, G-I-F-T, gift, might as well be give, a pair of lab-grown diamond studs absolutely free, and they're going to match the amount that you purchase. So you buy a $500 bracelet, they're going to match you with a $500 pair of stud earrings. A $1,000 necklace, they match you a $1,000 pair of stud earrings. So you kind of got like her birthday covered, or Christmas. You put them away, whatever. But it's the best jewelry store, period. I mean, period. Coolest jewelry store in America by In-Store Magazine. The only 5-star Google-rated full-service jewelry store in town. The fastest-growing jeweler. Best jeweler in Albuquerque, voted 4 straight years. Go by and see John Thomas Jewelers. Go online, johnthomasjewelers.com, and then visit them on Louisiana, 1 block south of Manal. They're on the 3rd floor of the Lewis University building, right across the street from the mall. It's John Thomas Jewelers.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Amazing how good he is, how open he gets, especially in the playoffs. Yeah, Kelsey's done. He only had 177 yards and a touchdown. Patrick Mahomes is pretty good when it matters. Boy, they get calls, though. Boy, do they get calls. And the Eagles beat the Rams. Last drive. Look, Saquon, let me tell you this. If the MVP came out, what did they do at the weekend of the Super Bowl? They do all the awards? If it came out and it wasn't Mahomes and it wasn't Josh Allen and it wasn't Lamar Jackson and it was Saquon, I would have no problem. In fact, and I said this before, he went for 200 and whatever he went for against the Rams yesterday, 205 yards. I would have no problem voting Saquon Barkley MVP this year.
He was a worthy candidate in discussion with those quarterbacks.
What was the difference on that team? I mean, honestly, it was him, right?
Saquon Barkley.
It was him. And here they are, one game away from the Super Bowl. And they'll be the favorites going in. The Rams almost got him. The big play was a sack on third down of Matthew Stafford. Boy, because the catch Puka Nacua made down the right sideline, I thought was special. And I thought the Rams were going to punch this thing in and get a
turnovers.
Home. Yeah, and the
fumble on back-to-back possessions.
And the one where Stafford just looked like, bleep this, man. It's too damn cold to play. Didn't he? But they would have got a home NFC championship game, the Rams. That's a 4 seed. Marty, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Marty.
Hey there. I was pulling hard for those Rams, trust me.
Me too. Me too.
I've always loved Matthew Stafford. I've always thought that he was probably the best quarterback under duress in the league, even better than Mahomes. Just always felt like he got a raw deal in Detroit, never really surrounded him with overall good talent, a good coach, that kind of thing. He had a man. I think, and I don't know, you can't blame the snow, but certainly that was a factor. It was a game where you want to run the football, and the Eagles did a better job running the football.
I thought the Kyron Williams fumble was huge. As big as Stafford's fumble was, Kyron Williams' fumble was really, really big.
Yeah. No, you were talking about the best rookie. The only guy I remember, and I don't want to make this Cowboy talk because they're on my last nerve, was Dak. He had 3,600 yards. I think he accounted for 29 touchdowns, had like a 105 passer rating. The only difference, I think, is that the Commanders, I was about to call them the Redskins, I think the Commanders have done a better job in not always putting it all on Jaden Daniels, right?
Yeah.
I think with the Cowboys over the years, they've always put everything on Dak. And I think kudos to Dan Quinn because I think he's figured out it doesn't always have to be Jaden Daniels, right? Sort of like the Chiefs. I don't think it always has to be Mahomes, even though he gets all this credit. I think a big part of that team is Chris Jones and that defense, Spag defense. But I really would like to see Buffalo eventually get a Super Bowl. So I'm going to really root hard for Josh Allen. Yep. That'll be my rooting interest. So all great games. Interesting that they all had some element of snow. I thought that was cool. Hard to play though with snow.
Yeah, especially in the Eagles in that Eagles thing. Yeah, it got thick in the Eagles thing. All right, Marty, good to hear you, man. Thank you.
All right, man.
See you. Yeah, the Eagles game got snow. I thought the Kyron Williams turnover was even bigger than the Stafford turnover. I did.
Yeah,
I just
turn the football over. That's what happens, and you have to dig yourself out of a hole. It's the discussion we have with Baltimore and why did Lamar Jackson have to have a drive like that? Well, you can look back at the turnovers earlier in the game that resulted in 14 points for Buffalo. Why were the Rams potentially in that position to have to chase the game? Because your turnovers on multiple possessions. But I think it also shows you how good those teams were to be able to overcome that in those situations on the road. But that's the difference. In games when you're playing against the best and you make one or two mistakes, you can point to why the game went a certain way.
Well, I mean, look at the Lions. They turned it over 5 times. Jared Goff, I don't want to say he was Goffle, but he wasn't good.
He was, dude. Like that's the one game where you look at Goff, and that's why you're always just like, ugh.
But are you?
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
He didn't have to. He threw it in his own coverage.
Yeah, he did.
He had the dude underneath.
So
Tom Brady was screaming at him.
Is he that dude, or is he the dude we watched for 17 games this year?
He's that dude.
He's that dude. So that one game overrides everything?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not. So you, if you're the Lions, are you in the market?
You're not in the market. Again, this goes back to the discussion we were having with the quarterbacks that have not had the level of success as Jared Goff. But we're out there on the biggest stage. And he did it against Minnesota the week before. You go back to that game with everything on the line. But you see you put more pressure on Jared Goff, there's a lot more leaks.
All right. Lamar turned it over twice himself. Goff turned it over 3 times, and the Lions turned it over 5. Lamar had a fumble and an interception. They turned it over 3 times. Is that all Lamar? I mean, is
that game? Goff threw 2 terrible.
Yeah, they were
passes.
bad. No, they were bad.
That game is a lot more on Jared Goff.
Okay.
Now the defense finally collapsed with all the injuries they have.
Yeah, and they sustained 2 more in that game. Yeah,
Which you added pressure on it.
You gave up 45 points.
But Jared Goff, like those were not just great plays. Like you're driving to score at the end of the half.
Not arguing. A horrible pass in the end zone. Yeah, horrible. All right, so Lamar turned it over twice, and they lose by 2 points. And those turnover. I mean, so does he have to eat that? He does, doesn't he?
Both are eating it.
Yeah,
Jared Goff and Lamar.
Okay. Yeah, but except for Lamar had him down there with a chance to tie it up and threw a perfect pass with 1:33 to go. JD, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, JD.
Good morning, fellas.
Hey.
So real quick about the football games over the weekend. I'm with JJ on that one. I thought about it last night. I thought, from the get-go, Goff was off. His passes weren't sharp and crisp. They were fluttering out of there. It was like he was playing outdoors. And at the end of the game, I thought, is this always going to haunt him? Is he going to be remembered for being that guy and not the one we saw the past 2 years through the regular season? And I think, unfortunately, I'm with JJ, that overrides everything because he regressed to such an extent that causes him to be that guy again, right? The Commanders, I don't understand that offense, why it's so hard for people to defend. I really don't. It seems pretty simplistic, but when you watch it. And then there were just so many egregious mistakes made in calling defenses. Detroit left 3-on-2 out there, right, when McLaren took it to the house. And then there was one last night in the Rams where the center went left and left the guy untouched.
Yeah, that was that third down
those
play.
breakdowns, of stuff like that confused me. But Saquon Barkley never showed that kind of talent at the Giants. And I think that just speaks to the abysmal organization that the Giants are, that they couldn't get this guy unleashed like that. Because I'm going to tell you, he's a beast.
Yeah.
There's no way that you can plan to stop that, right? You can't stop 68, 74, 72-yard runs like that. So I think Philly's got a good chance to go to the Super Bowl. I'm a Cowboys fan, so having the Commanders and the Eagles in the championship game is a killer for me.
Yeah.
I thought that the call that they missed against the headshot when on the pick six against Goff was egregious. They should have seen that. He got his head whopped on that one. And then I think Kansas City's going to take out Buffalo. I think they're just going to find it one more time. And then as far as the Lobos, real quick, a couple of things. Going back to the San Jose State game, in conjunction with what we did against Boise State. And no bones, okay? I'm going to tell you, it's one of the best performances I've seen in the first half in a long time.
Yep.
And everybody was talking about the assist thing, right? That they only had 5 assists against San Jose State. They had 22 against Boise. But if you don't make shots, you don't get an assist.
That's correct.
We're smarter fans than that, guys. We know that, right? But the biggest thing in that game to me was we had one foul called against us in 16 and a half minutes.
Yeah, they let them play.
If you give any team that, they're going to play better.
Yep.
And I just think that if we don't get that same consistency, look at the second half. Every other trip down was a foul.
Yeah, no, they
And
let
look
them play in
what
the
it
first
broke
half,
out
and there was a little bit of a flow in the first half. It was a way better half to watch. And in the San Jose State game, you're 100% right. I can think of 5 or 6 plays where either they missed the shot on really great pass, whether it was Donovan Dent or whether it was True, whomever it was, and they just didn't finish, or they got fouled with the free throw line. You don't get an assist on that. Yeah.
Yeah, if you look at the San Jose State game, we didn't take a 3 until the 13-minute mark.
No, and that was Malik.
We were up by 12.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you were up
And
by
the
12.
same
You're up
thing-
by 12, 10 minutes in. 13 points. 13 points.
Well, yeah, so I don't know. We'll just see today how it goes. It's a weird time today. I keep forgetting I've got to go to the game. So I got to keep reminding myself, don't forget to go to the game.
Yeah. 3 o'clock today.
Well, happy Martin Luther King Day, guys. Enjoy
right.
the rest of it. Appreciate it. Thanks.
505-246-0610 is where he called. The play on the penalty he says they missed on Goff, that probably was a shot, but it would have been a Commander's ball.
Yeah.
They just wouldn't have scored the touchdown, and they would have. I mean, who knows if that would have been where that would have gone? But they missed it. Look, I thought some of the calls of the Chiefs game were horrible. I thought some of the calls of the Chiefs game were really, really bad. And look, here's my deal. I think
maybe you don't get sacked 8 times either if you're CJ Stroud.
Okay, I think that's legitimate as well. I'm not telling you that's the only reason they lost.
No, but everyone else is.
No, but do we agree that there were some really bad calls?
2.
Okay.
But would they have not thrown that same flag if 2 defenders dived at CJ Stroud?
Fair question. Yeah, fair question. 505-246-0610. Keep them coming. Lion fan, get in today. I know you're out there. I feel bad for Lion fan. Addie was with my daughter was watching in Michigan with a bunch of Lions fans, and also said, "Dad is so sad."
Yes, your number 1 seed, best season ever, and it ends like that. I am not on the bandwagon that so many people are going to be on, right? Which is, can everything? Campbell can't do it. Goff can't do it. No, there's levels to this. You do have to own it, just like Lamar Jackson. What has happened to Dan Campbell and Jared Goff in the last 2 biggest moments? It was a second half collapse in the NFC Championship game.
Yep.
And it was Jared Goff collapsing at home in the playoffs.
As bad as he was, man, they gave up 45 points. They gave up 45 freaking points. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
David C. Chavis, personal injury attorney for over.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
I like Buffalo running the football. I like what they've done, and it's not just Josh Allen. I like that James Cook had 67 yards, and they got Ray Davis, and they can run the football. And it was only 147. Look, the Buffalo Bills were not explosive. 126 yards passing, 147 yards. That's under 300 yards, man. That's like, what, 273? If I do my math right? 273. Lamar Jackson had 240 passing himself. They got outgained by Baltimore. But Buffalo didn't make mistakes either. Now, the mistakes they made, you may say, are play calling, and I'll listen to some of that. I hated the way they came out super conservative in the second half. I didn't love, like, that big, long drive that they had that ended with the field goal to put them by 8. I didn't like the play calling down the stretch, when they were in the red zone. I was with Brady. Was it Brady on that game or Romo? Was that the Brady game?
It was Romo.
It was Romo.
CBS game.
Yeah, it was. I was with him. How about him try to describe Mark Andrews dropping the ball? He had no words. Like, it's right. Oh, you got to catch. Oh, yeah. The pain that he was feeling watching those replays as the ball was perfectly placed in a really good receiver's hands. Romo had no words. It was just painful. Look, I feel for that dude, too.
Yeah, in that spot, we all saw it. Sometimes
there's no
words works when we just saw what happened.
Yeah.
And Mark Andrews bobbling the game-tying 2-point conversion.
Does your
in the fourth quarter.
gut tell you it's Buffalo's time?
No.
It doesn't. Mine does. No, mine does.
That's going to be the push throughout the week because people are just tired of Patrick Mahomes.
It's not even that. I actually really enjoy them. I enjoy Kansas City. Like, I'm not a Chiefs fan, but I enjoy them.
It's going to be the referee narrative. They get all the calls. They don't have to do anything. And I get it. It's what happens in sports, man. If your team's not winning, you hate the team that does. You get tired of it. Like, you don't want it. You don't want to see it. You want someone else to do it. But I also think what's gotten lost because of that is the fact we're looking at a team that's trying to win 3 straight Super Bowls. 3 straight Super Bowls. In this game, we say it's the hardest ever, the most pressure on these guys. They've gone to 7 straight AFC Championship games, trying to win 3 straight Super Bowls. Everyone's just like,
it's astonishing
because of the refs.
Yeah, and they're not that good, and blah, blah. They are the number 1 seed. They do get it at home. They have that dude. And so I don't think they're going to do it for a number of reasons. First of all, I think the Bills are better. I just do. Secondly, there's a reason it's so hard to win 3 straight Super Bowls. So many things have to go right. But I'm not that guy who hates me. They're very Warrior-esque to me. I was never a Warrior fan. In fact, growing up in L.A., I've never liked a Bay Area team. But I enjoy the Warriors because I enjoyed watching them. I love their style of play. I love that they were orchestrated by a dude who does stuff that we've never seen before, right? Mahomes is very Steph Curry to me.
He is.
I enjoy watching a dude that, I don't know, maybe doesn't look the part you say in as athletic or, I don't know. Like Steph Curry's a little guy doing crazy things on a basketball floor. And Mahomes is a guy who's not blessed with all these physical talents that we say some of these other guys are. He's not this gigantic Josh Allen physical specimen guy.
Gigantic.
Is Mahomes huge like that?
6'6".
Is he 6'6"?
Yes.
Really?
Isn't he?
Oh.
That's a big dude.
Maybe he is.
No,
but he does stuff that I've just never seen before. That's
I think what's hard.
me on this.
Yeah, I think what's hard for fans right now, it's the frustration of, gosh, that here they go again. Kansas City's going to win it.
6'2", 225.
He seems bigger than that to me. I apologize. I just thought, I think just seeing him move out there, he doesn't move like Josh Allen or Lamar, but he moves enough. Now, yeah, you clown him for trying to flop on the sideline, all that stuff. But where I think it's even more frustrating for people is you watch that team and you don't feel that they're that good. You don't feel that this is the number one team in the AFC because they're not doing wow things offensively. Patrick Mahomes isn't having one of those seasons where he threw for 50 touchdown passes and he's the best fantasy football quarterback out there and you love everything they're doing. They just get by.
Yeah. And they win. I mean, to your point, they don't create obstacles for themselves. I don't know if you've ever led an operation or whatever. If you run an event, you run whatever it is, like there's going to be organic issues in your workplace, right? Things are going to happen. One of the things I always say to our staff as we go into Bowl Week, and I bring this around and it'll make sense maybe. Look, we're going to have issues. Things are going to happen. Let's not create our own issues, please. Right? Let's not create our own problems. There's going to be enough organic problems. And that's, to me, they don't create their own issues. If you, again, look at the teams in the playoffs that lost this weekend. The Texans lost the turnover battle. Now, they'd had none. So there were no turnovers in that game. Right? But the Rams lost the turnover battle. The Ravens lost the turnover battle. The Lions lost the turnover battle. They created their own issues. Hence, they couldn't overcome them. And that's what the Chiefs don't do. And I look at a Bills team that I don't really think hurts themselves a lot. And that's why I love this matchup going in next Sunday. I think it's terrific.
It should be a game that goes down to the last few possessions of the fourth quarter.
Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. Let's go. Eagle fan, where are you? Chiefs fan, you can come in today. I know it's inauguration day. I know what's going on today. We all are well aware. I know a lot of you are watching what's going on. Come on in and get yourself talking about what happened yesterday. You can get in on Lobo stuff as well, 505-246-0610. International Protective Service watches my home. They watch my home, many homes around the city, businesses as well. You've seen them in your neighborhood. I know you see them at the store. Why? Because they protect what people have worked so hard to build. They catch criminals in the act. They detain them and call the police to come pick them up. They provide standing guards if you need eyes on your property or your home around the clock. IPS installs alarms and camera systems. They got state-of-the-art facility to monitor those cameras 24/7. It all raises the level of security around homes and businesses. So who's watching your home, your business, when you're not there? Don't let it be the bad guys, and don't wait to be a victim before you call IPS. It's affordable, private security that will protect what you've worked so hard to build. International Protective Services, IPS, 505-897-2420, 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. Passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports. is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been.
Like I've been saying all season, every time we're in a situation like this, turnovers play a factor. Penalties play a factor over. Tonight it was turnovers. We can't have that bleep. That's why we lost the game. As you can see, we're moving the ball wonderfully. Just hold on to the bleeping ball. I'm sorry for my language, but this bleep is annoying. I'm tired of this bleep. End quote. Lamar Jackson. Yeah. And turnover, and it's not, look, turnovers are on you too. You dropped the football. When he fumbled, he didn't get hit. He dropped the football. He was trying to change hands. He dropped the football. The interception that he threw, it was on him. Now, Mark Andrews got to catch the football. Mark Andrews got to hold on to the football. The opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, 505-246-0610. Your final four is set. Your thoughts at the end of the game. And I know everybody's screaming, and rightfully so. It would have been a tie game. Lamar let him down, threw the touchdown pass, threw a pass that, should have been caught. It would have been 27-27. And all I hear is, it was going to go to overtime. Easy. There was a minute 33 left. The guy on the other side is pretty damn good too, right? The other quarterback was going to get the ball back with a minute 33 left and 2 timeouts. I still firmly believe the Bills were going to win that game. That's why I think it was the right thing when Sean McDermott kicked the field goal instead of went for on 4th down. Now, they scored the touchdown. They put the game away. They win anyway. Now, they did win, and so he gets away with it. In the moment, didn't you feel that was a tough, brutal decision? And I thought he made the right one. I don't know where you were on that in the moment.
Yeah. I'm with you. No.
He needed to, it was 8 points, right?
Yes.
The worst thing that happens is you go to overtime. Now, I was getting a sick feeling on this. As they kept showing Josh Allen on the bench, you know what I kept flashing back to? the 13-second game, where Josh Allen did everything he could, drove his team down, scored with 13 seconds against Kansas City, sat on the bench as Patrick Mahomes went down in 13 seconds and kicked a field goal. They won the coin toss, and he never touched the ball again. I had a weird feeling that was going to play out.
And this is the challenge when having this overarching discussions, with these quarterbacks, because you want to, it's what we do as fans, talking heads, is you make that statement, boom, Jared Goff's not a big game quarterback. Boom, Lamar Jackson can't get it done. Harbaugh, his time is up. Look at what he's throwing away with these guys. It's also the fact that this is the best of the best going at it. Like when you think about Josh Allen losing to Patrick Mahomes, or Josh Allen the last time he lost, or losing, to Joe Burrow, or in this case, Lamar Jackson last year losing to Mahomes. This is what we're grading them against. But this is what you have to do, is look at those fine moments, those things that changed. Why did Lamar have to have a comeback at the end? Well, it's because he
was down double digits and he turned the football over. Yeah, and he's 0-6 when he's down double digits at halftime.
Josh Allen do not turn it over. What did Jared Goff do? He turned the football over in a game where both teams didn't play defense, by the way, but what was the difference? And this is where you're at in playoff football, and you have to own it. I think Lamar Jackson feels it, but that's still a guy I look at, and I know he didn't get it done, and you have to say, well, you got to own it, but I'm running it. Like, if I'm that organization, I know, like, this is still, like, the only way to compete with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes is with this guy.
Look, there's a couple of things on owning it. I mean, you can own it all you want. If you're there's a couple ways to own it. How do I get better? Right? If you're Baltimore, you look at this thing and say, what do I got to do? I added Derrick Henry. My defense is pretty good. Like, I'm going to go back to one of my most overused phrases, but I'm going to use it again. And we had this conversation / argument with Isaiah last week. But I'm going to lean on it because I don't think it was ever more true than what we watched this weekend. Players make plays.
And
or
I
they don't.
I don't think, in watching all those games, I didn't feel that there was a team that wasn't prepared. I didn't feel like there was a team that it was a dramatic coaching issue. I think, Dan Campbell, that's who he's been over the last few years, but some of that too was chasing the game, which is why they went to their wide receiver throwing a pass, which ends up being intercepted, like those things late in the contest. But we're also talking about,
that was a bad call by Ben Johnson, I think. Or at least a bad throw by Jameson.
Yeah, you don't need to be. In the second half, your wide receiver doesn't need to be run. A trick play where he throws the football, a reverse or something like that, which he scored on, is one thing. You don't need. And that was also, two position players that threw passes in that game for the Lions as they were chasing that game. But, just looking at it, Baltimore in Buffalo, right, they're on the road in that environment. The one that hurts more is, out of all these, it's going to be the Lions at home, getting just shredded by a rookie quarterback
after the season they had, and everything around that franchise. First time they've been a number one seed. Hell, parking spots to go tailgate were going for $1,000 around Ford Field. People were gladly paying it. They were giddy. Addie's kind of, got a soft spot now. My daughter's in Michigan, and so she's like, yeah, Dad, she had a big day on Saturday. She's like, all right, we're all going to Texas Roadhouse to watch the Lions. She sent me pictures from, right? And she just said, it's so sad. And the Lions fans, the Michigan sports fans, the state of Michigan, this was it, man. It's been never since they've been this good. Like, nobody, go back to Bobby Lane. Stop it with the 50s, right? I mean, honestly, that's when it was. This is the franchise where Calvin Johnson, who was one of the best we've ever seen, retired early because they were so bad. Barry Sanders. No, honestly. I mean, you retired two of the best ever at their positions early because the franchise was so bad. And they still come back and they love on these guys. Barry Sanders, you guys, if you didn't see Barry, YouTube Barry Sanders, man. Barry Sanders was Saquon, and he was different, right?
Yes, one of the best running backs
ever. Megatron.
Well, then you add in once Stafford finally gets out of town, and what does he do?
Won a Super Bowl his first year. So this was it, man. And they were dumb. They got so beat up defensively. This is where I know you have to evaluate, and I know you have to make changes because you didn't get there. But I think one of your biggest evaluate, first of all, you're going to have to replace potentially both of your coordinators, right? Both Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson, their defensive and offensive coordinators, are interviewing for multiple head coaching jobs. Probably within maybe today, tomorrow, one of them, if not both, are going to get a job. So you've got to be really, really good if you're Dan Campbell, the head coach, about replacing your two coordinators. You were beat up defensively. In fact, it was a little bit magical that your defense played so well with Aiden Hutchinson out, with everybody who was out. And then you kept dropping DBs. I don't give up on Jared Goff. Was he Goffle on Saturday? Yeah, he wasn't good. I'm going to lean on what I saw over 17 games over one, and he's got to be better. He did get a team to a Super Bowl before. Is it all on him? A lot on him. Yeah, a lot on him.
Because you still say, oh, the injuries the Lions had. Yeah. Dude, Washington gave up 521 yards total offense in that game.
Yeah.
And they won because Goff turned it over.
Look, it's a lot on him. Just like you're not throwing Lamar out because they lost. I'm not making a change in quarterback. By the way, I've already paid him, so he's my quarterback.
Right, but this is where sometimes, even as someone that wants to have the takes opinion, sometimes there's just not someone has to fall on the sword. Sometimes you just lose.
Sometimes you got beat, man.
And then you say, well, what's going to change? Well, some of these
We're gonna be better
situations, it's like, well, that's still the best opportunity you have
Yeah.
right here with this quarterback, with this coach, to be back in this position.
Yeah, we're going to be better next time. We're going to play better because you know what? Players make plays or they don't. It's the opening drive. If you're on the line, stay there. We're going to get to you when we come back. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, happy President's Day. Happy Inauguration Day. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All In Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Big weekend of football we just had. You get the championship game tonight. What a day today. 3 o'clock, Lobo men's basketball over at the Pit, over on News Radio KKOB. Lobos in Fresno State. Lobos are 15-4, 7-1 in conference. They take on a Bulldog team that is 5-13, 1-6 in Vance Wahlberg's first season at Fresno State. They're going to wear the yellow uniforms, the statehood jerseys today. Dude, the turquoise were fire. I can't tell you how many texts I got over the weekend or on Friday when I was at the game. Are you there? Those uniforms are awesome. Yeah, they're really, really cool. So you get all that today. 505-246-0610. Let's go. We got a full weekend of NFL stuff. Adolph, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Adolph.
Hey.
Hey.
Taking my call, fellas. When I saw that tight end for the Baltimore Ravens, this guy, is his name Mark Andrews?
Mark Andrews, yeah.
Yeah. Is he the one that dropped that catch or fumbled the ball?
He's the one who fumbled. Yeah, he's the one who had it punched out.
Same guy?
Yeah. Same dude who had it punched out, yeah.
And then they were going for a 2-point conversion, and Lamar Jackson puts the ball like right where he needs to for Andrews to catch that ball.
That's right.
And he drops the ball.
That's right.
I'm telling you, I had a flashback to 1979, watching the Super Bowl. The Cowboys were playing the Steelers. I think it was like Super Bowl 13 or something. And Staubach hit Jackie Smith, the great Hall of Fame tight end, with a perfect pass, and Smith dropped that ball.
Yeah.
And Dallas had to settle for a field goal, and that game ended up, I think the Steelers won that game 35-31, and that was the margin of victory.
Yep.
And nobody remembers how many tremendous catches Jackie Smith made in his Hall of Fame career for the St. Louis Cardinals and the Dallas Cowboys. But they always remember that drop. And I think that Mark Andrews has just done 2.0 Jackie Smith.
You know, it's such a bummer, Adolph, because this guy's an all-pro tight end. Like, he is one of, over the last, 5 to 6 years, he has been one of the top 3 pass-catching tight ends in the league, period.
And like you said, Jeff, players make plays.
Yeah, or they don't.
And nobody will remember how many plays, successful plays that guy, Mark Andrews, made. But they'll remember that fumble and that drop for that 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but that's the game. I'm out.
Yeah, he's not. I don't know that he's totally wrong. I look. There's a lot of dudes who have had careers. Leon Lett was a pretty good player. What do you remember him for? No, honestly, Leon Lett was pretty good. He had a pretty good career. But you remember him for that Thanksgiving Day snow meltdown against the Dolphins on the block kick. There's guys like that, right? Bucky, I'll have to give you the other side. Bucky Dent was a marginal player, but you remember for hitting that home run against the Red Sox. Bucky bleeping Dent. Yeah, one play in big moments can completely define who you are, even though it shouldn't.
No ball going through your legs or...
Bill Buckner was a really good player, dude. No, honestly, Bill Buckner was a good player. Had a really, really good career, was an outfielder at first, but Bill Buckner was a good ball player. But you remember him for one thing.
Yeah, and this is why there's such a passion about championships, because that's how we judge people. We don't look at regular seasons. Like, we don't talk about Dan Marino. He's one of the best quarterbacks ever. Does he have the talent to be in that conversation? Sure. But legacies are judged postseason of every single sport. It's the way to differentiate good to great. And then when you have moments where great players are going up against each other, like we saw yesterday, Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen, what was the difference? One made mistakes, one didn't.
That's right. That's right. Edward, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Good day, sir.
Good day, gentlemen. Celebrating the birthday of one of the greatest leaders, dynamic leaders in the history of our country, Martin Luther King Jr. So much respect. So Adolph's such a great caller. He's so articulate. I got one better than him. The great Wes Welker, who was an amazing slot receiver. By the way, Kelsey's a slot receiver. He's not a tight end. Like, more than 70% of his production is in the slot position. Amazing player, though. So Wes Welker was an amazing, amazing slot receiver. He dropped a pass with two hands on the ball in the second Super Bowl against the Giants that really would have ended the game. And he's a forgotten guy because Julian Edelman came in and has like 10 iconic moments in the playoffs and a Super Bowl MVP. And Wes Welker kind of set the tone for that success. So there's a lot of examples of this, but nobody talks about Wes Welker. Everybody will remember Julian Edelman because of the championships. Tonight, college football, Notre Dame's a great story. They have a dynamic coach. I got a feeling they're going to get run. It's an 8.5-point spread. Yeah. I just have a feeling they're going to get punched in the mouth and dominated physically. But I could be wrong, and that's why they play the game. Well, my prediction is Ohio State by more than 10. In the NFL, Jeff, you are so insightful. The Bills were up 11 points, I think, at halftime. They have the ball. They have all momentum. And I was texting my friends, put the game away. And they come out in the second half and go so conservative. If they want any chance to win the Super Bowl, their offensive coordinator has to use the best weapon in the NFL and the best player in the NFL the past 3 years, Josh Allen, and cut him loose. Otherwise, if you play this ground control, let's run the clock, keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands, you are going to get beat.
I agree with you.
Either by the great performance by Mahomes or a very suspect call at the end of the game. One of the two things is going to happen. So you got to cut it loose. If Washington comes in this weekend with house money and does not cut it loose and do whatever they can and let the ball fly, they too will probably get beat. So I think it's very interesting storylines this weekend. I really like Lamar Jackson. I've come to the realization that I only trust 4 quarterbacks in the NFL, just 4. Mahomes, Jackson, Allen, and Cincinnati's quarterback, Burrow. Those are the only 4 that I have any trust in on a consistent basis. And the game last night, Jackson, who's probably going to win his 3rd MVP, in some ways, he lost the game early on with the fumble, and it happens, right? He's amazing. I'm not putting it all on him. And the interception that he threw, whether it was a broken play, those were significant game changers that led to 14 points. And, you know, at the end of the game, he delivered on the drive, and the guy drops the ball. So interesting storylines, but they were good games, and we're going to see how all this plays out. But if you play conservatively, you're going home. So enjoy the day, guys.
Let's see you. I'm going to start to throw Jaden Daniels in there pretty soon. I'm going to start to throw Jaden Daniels in there. Who do you
trust? In the NFC Championship game. And why is he so good? Because he plays like he's been in the league for 5 seasons.
And I'll tell you this, I kind of trust Matt Stafford. And I know Matthew Stafford didn't get it done at the end, although I certainly did.
That was impressive, though, overall, in those conditions.
Yeah. He had no chance on 3rd down. Now, the 4th down throw, Puka Nacua was open. He missed him on 4th down. He did. He flat out missed him. But that 3rd down call that put them behind the sticks, the sack, he had no chance. But I'll tell you what, the 2 drives to get them in a position to win a football game, Matthew Stafford, I mean,
he's still that guy.
Yes.
That's why we've had the discussion over the last few years. And the Rams have done a really nice job to retool through this run, you know, after winning the Super Bowl, not having 1st-round picks, like they moved off of Von Miller and Bobby Wagner and these other guys, and to be first in this position to where they hit on their mid-round picks when they got the 1st-round picks back, they hit on those, and it's still, when you have that guy at quarterback, he's still that dude that gives you an opportunity.
I agree with you. Rams were right there. Rudy, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Rudy.
Good morning. Richard always talks about I'd rather tame a bronco than warm a corpse.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that line?
I have heard
that.
that.
I almost had to call him for corpse warming last week. That was wild. I don't know what virus I had, but I feel so much better, and I'll be able to make the game today. But I guess the only advantage is you get to watch a lot of sports, and I watched a lot of sports over the Friday night until yesterday. And one thing I got to give some love to right off the bat is the Lobo women going up to Colorado State and winning that game. I mean, I'm watching that game going, you're up by 18, put them away. That's not how it works. Parade to the free throw line. But there's something about this team, and JJ covers them a lot more, and he knows they've got something going, and they just play with a lot of grit, a lot of determination, and you got Cumber. And by the way, I think I shouted out to JJ on X, the announcers for the Colorado State Rams. He changed her name to Cumberland. I didn't know her last name is now Cumberland.
Yeah, all right, then.
I'll take Cumberland on my team. And then what can you say about the men? They just came out, and that last 10 minutes of the first half is the best basketball I think I've seen the Lobos play ever. I've been watching them forever.
Ever.
That was perfect basketball.
Ever's a long time.
Hey, they crushed the number one team. I've never seen Boise State that rattled, and there was nothing that little Leon Rice could do about that one. and I wanted to see the sign, and I didn't see it, from Lobo Louie, tonight's menu, cooked rice, but they cooked them pretty good. So they got to follow that up today with a tremendous effort. Fresno State may be who they are, but you got to go out and take care of business. And if you do, it sets up nicely for the rest of the season.
Just be who you are, man.
There was so much pro football. I feel so bad for the Lions. That's kind of my adopted team because I was there for 3 years, and we went and saw them when they had, Billy Sims. And look at all the running backs they've had. Billy Sims, Barry Sanders, great players, and just I feel for that fan base. But their defense was beat up. Their offense was beat up. And for them to get that far is an accomplishment, and I know they'll be back next year. But we'll see you guys out at the pit today, and everybody have a great day. You can celebrate pretty much whatever you want today, right?
Yeah, there's a lot to celebrate, or however you want to handle things today. Yep, there's a lot going on. All right, man, enjoy it. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Okay.
All right, Rudy, call it 505-246-0610. Best I've ever seen them play. I've seen a lot of Lobo basketball. I've seen a lot of good halves. It was the best I've seen them play this year. That first half, and I've watched a lot of Lobo basketball. The first half was the best half of basketball I've seen them play this year.
Well, this year, and it's worthy of the conversation, best conference half ever.
Okay.
They've never led by that much in a conference game.
Yeah.
Like just the shock and awe that they threw at Boise State. And by the way, as much as Leon Rice wants to talk about it, Boise State wants to talk about it, they didn't call fouls on anyone in that first half. So
Let them freaking play, for crying out loud. Like I watched that whole. It was so much more. First of all, aesthetically pleasing. How about that? To watch a game where they weren't calling a foul every time down the field.
Fouls all the time.
There are, and when it comes down to it, what do we have? Total fouls overall. Where am I looking? Fouls. So there were. Give me a game where there's 29 total fouls as opposed to 53. Right? Let him freaking play. His guys got away with stuff too now. He is I don't know Leon, and people who know him tell me he's a really good guy. And I've met him one time. He was fine. Is he the most unlikable coach in this league? No, honestly. And for Lobo fans, certainly because of the whole thing with the baseball team. Did you hear the baseball team late at the end of the game, like under 4 minutes, the Lobo student section was singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
That's funny. That's great.
Just to get at him. That's what they were up by 20, whatever, and they were singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." I thought that was precious. I saw Todd Brown on the other side, the baseball coach. He was over by Rudy's seats. Yeah, the baseball team wasn't up there. They weren't being recognized, but they sang "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," which was precious. But yeah, I mean, he's got that whiny look. There was a time I said to Audra, look, there was a timeout, and they both bring out their little chairs. They got to go out to midcourt because the seats that they provide you are certainly not good enough to have a timeout discussion on. We got to have, right? The managers have to bring out their little chairs.
Well, they're much more easy to move.
Okay.
Than those.
Yeah, you get a little circle. Both coaches were chewing on the refs. And I said, look, that coach over there, look at it, and I pointed around, he's down by 25. And I said, look at that coach over there. And Richard just is animated up by 25. Coaches are not happy unless they're miserable.
Yes. And you know what? When you see it at work,
yeah,
you understand why.
Yeah, I get it.
I saw it firsthand on Saturday. So the Lobos, I'm still shocked about their first quarter, by the way.
Lobo
26-10, the Lobo women.
Yeah.
At Colorado State. They were being aggressive. They were 7 of 8 from the free throw line. About a minute 45 left in the first quarter. Colorado State's coach Ryan Williams blows up. Like, gets a technical foul.
He's down 26-10.
He was being held back. Like, he's sending a message. And after that technical foul,
it turned.
The Lobos did not shoot a free throw until the third quarter.
Isn't that crazy? Yep, it turns. Look, referees are human. They get caught up in crowd. They get caught up in it, at some point. Wow, maybe I really did miss a call. Gosh, coach lost his freaking mind. Maybe I really did screw this up. All right, I'm gonna even this out, whether it's conscious or subconscious. No, I get it. 505-246-0610. You had a full weekend of NFL football. Bills and Chiefs going to go at each other. Eagles and Commandos. What'd you see? Legacy games. Want your thoughts? Drop balls, turnovers. Players make plays, or they don't. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by
TurboThreads. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
University Arena, the Pit. 3 o'clock start, 2:30 pregame over on News Radio. KKOP, Robert Portnoy, Hunter Green. We'll have the call. You fly up to, where are you going? You going to Logan today?
Going to Logan.
Time you fly?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock? You chartering?
Yes, sir.
Into Ogden, huh?
Yep.
All right. What's the weather up there? I haven't even looked. If it's cold here like
Cold.
this, it's got to be really chilly up there. Yeah. All right. What time? You got a game tomorrow night? 7 o'clock?
6 o'clock Mountain Time.
6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Still Mountain Time. All right. 5:30 pregame. JJ will be up. Lobo women back on the road after a big road win against a team that maybe I hate to say you should beat, but this is after getting the one you got, right? This is one you kind of feel like,
Oh yeah, this
right? Right.
Do everything possible to keep yourself motivated. They're 1-17.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
There's going to be
They fired
37 people in that building.
This is the place that fired their coach last year before she hit the podium when they lost in the conference championship game, right? And so we found out. Somebody asked her a question. She's like, I don't know. I was told I'm fired before I came.
And everyone was just like, oh,
whoa, sorry.
Whoa.
And, yeah.
It was something about next year in recruiting. She's like, well, ain't going to be my problem.
That's not my job. Good thing they replaced her and they got way better, huh? They're 1-17. Yeah, this is one you got to go up and get, right? Just go take care of business. It's going to be cold and empty and a long trip, and just go up, and it's a business trip. You just go up and you take care of stuff. Yeah.
Well, yeah. And this is a team that has special things going on. Vienna Cumber passed 1,000 career points.
That's a big deal.
On Saturday.
Yep.
She tied her career out at 25 points, 13 points in the third quarter. She's just probably one of my favorite people, just on and off the floor, for what she's been able to do at the University of Mexico and how she leads this team. The fact that they already have wins at San Diego State, Colorado State, places they just don't win, even with the teams that were better. And this team is becoming pretty darn good. That they don't win in San Diego or Fort Collins very often.
But they did.
And they got it done. And yeah, Utah State is just somehow, just saw it last week with the men. Just stay focused, get the job done, and then you get to come back home Saturday, play Fresno State.
All right, tonight you get the College Football Playoff Championship, Ohio State, Notre Dame. This game will be in Atlanta. Ohio State, an 8.5-point favorite over Notre Dame. Text line says, Jeff, I know I shouldn't assume, but guessing that you're a Michigan fan, what's worse, watching Ohio State possibly win a national championship after you beat them or losing to them? So I'm not like my daughter goes to school there, so I'm kind of new. I mean, I've always understood the rivalry. I'm not sure I'm emotionally invested yet. Does that make sense? She is. I don't know that I'll ever be emotionally invested. I mean, I write the checks, or some of them. My daughter's deep into this. She hates seeing this. Like, she's like, when Oregon played Ohio State in the Rose Bowl, right? That was the national quarterfinal. And my nephew goes to Oregon, and Addie's just like, after you guys are going to take care of Ohio State, right? You are going to take care of them, right? And oh yeah. And part of the her Christmas gift, she's like, okay, when you guys win the national championship, meaning Oregon, I'm going to get you a national championship T-shirt. Like, she got out of that one. But yeah, they have it, right? She's got. I don't to the texter. I don't know what's worse. I mean, you beat them, so you beat them. You did your part. You did, and you won last year. So, I mean, but you hate seeing them there. She just hates it.
Yeah, and it's.
I wonder if she watches
a new era of the Michigan Ohio State rivalry for fans like your daughter, for fans that are in school, because it's going to be different. You're still going to have that intensity for that rivalry game, but it's different now, because it used to be, all right, you lose that game, you lost your season.
Yeah. Only one of you is going on. Maybe
not the case anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I'd lead on Rudy a little on that too. I mean, he went to law school at Michigan, and the people who grew up in that. I mean, the Ohio people, they hate Michigan with every fiber in them. Hate them. I work with a Ohio person by marriage. And when Addie when she decided she's going to Michigan, she's like, oh, I guess we got a problem. Like, do we though? do we really have a problem? It's your husband and my daughter. You and I are good, right? Like we're okay. And she got her a nice whole care package of Michigan stuff. And I guess her husband saw it laying on the bed before Addie went to college. Like there was Michigan eyewear and a plastic, like, one of those clear bags. And he walked in, he's like, oh, I knew something smelled like bleep in here. that whole thing. Yeah, they hate it. There's a lot of Notre Dame fans around here too. A lot of I ran into a number of people at the Pit the other night who got tickets. They're in Atlanta tonight. I know a lot of people in Atlanta. Part of me probably should be in Atlanta, huh? JJ, in a couple of years now, next year I'm going to be treasurer, then I'm vice chair, and then I'm chair. I think I got to go to the games when I'm vice chair and chair. I think it's I think it's somewhat required that I got to be at the national championship. But I'm only secretary now on the executive committee.
Not too bad.
So I guess I got to take notes. I got to keep the minutes. All right. As we go through this today, the center doesn't get a record. I mean, he knows what he is in playoff games, but it's the coach and the quarterback. Jaden Daniels is undefeated in the playoffs as a quarterback. Jared Goff takes a loss. He's been to the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes goes back again. C.J. Stroud got beat. Jalen Hurts. We haven't talked about Jalen Hurts, have we? He had a big run. I mean, all he does, it's not that all he does is hand it off to Saquon Barkley. Yeah, Jalen Hurts played
broke one off, 44-yard touchdown run to open that game.
But what about Matthew Stafford? Does he got to eat this one? I mean, we talk about he almost came back. He did fumble.
Yeah, Stafford and Lamar, those conversations are very similar.
Well, Stafford's got a ring. they're a little different because Stafford's got a ring.
It doesn't mean anything to me. You lost to the Eagles.
Yeah.
Did that help you win that game? No, but I mean, in terms of discussing the quarterback performances and not looking at these guys this week and they're terrible, they can never win. They were very similar. Like what was the difference? Well, not playing clean football.
Yeah, but the difference in the narrative will be Lamar can't get by that round. Matthew Stafford's got a ring. Lamar was the favorite on the road. Matthew Stafford was a 6.5-point dog. And damn near led that team back and threw for 324 yards and 2 touchdowns and didn't have an interception. He did fumble the football, right? The biggest play of that game to me, well, there were 2. The second big, long Saquon touchdown. But Kyron Williams' fumble was huge. That was a huge play. And, hell, Jake Elliott kept banging field goals through there. Now, he missed 2 extra points. But didn't he? But he kept banging field goals through there. And didn't you feel at the end of that game Matthew Stafford was going to find a way into that end zone? I had such a, I mean, you know how you are is like when you have a rooting interest, you always think the worst is going to happen. But there was part of me like, holy bleep, here we go.
Yeah, I didn't have a feeling at the end like it wasn't going to happen. Like this is right there. It's going to be the final few plays of this game.
Yeah. All right, keep them coming today at 505-246-0610. Lobos have a defensive coordinator. Who is he, and from where did he come? We'll get into that a little bit. They had one. You're like, didn't they have one? Yes, they did. And then he became a head coach like a day later. So they went out and found another defensive coordinator. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Got shots?
You've been out at Level basketball. You've probably seen Jason Eck, the Level football coach. He's been out there in the tunnel early in every game, usually with some recruits coming down the tunnel, showing them, hey, look at the atmosphere here, and it's pretty cool. And then he's really good. He shakes a lot of hands. They walk up the section. Really, really good. It's the opening drive. Jeff Simieta, JJ Buck. Looks like he's close to getting a defensive coordinator. But, Jeff, he had one. Yeah, he did. Dan Jackson was his defensive coordinator. And then about a week later, Dan Jackson left to be the head coach at South Dakota State. Jason Eck publicly said he's got a guy in place, but the internet went nuts this weekend. No, nuts. That's probably a little over-exaggeration. But it did say that Memphis co-defensive coordinator, and then he's been at Ohio. A guy named Spence Nowinski is going to be the new defensive coordinator. 15 years of experience as a defensive coordinator. He's been at Miami of Ohio, Memphis. He worked with Jason Eck as a grad assistant in Wisconsin and a position coach at Idaho early in the 2000s. And it sounds like you got a guy who's coming in to be your new defensive coordinator. So they're filling out their staff. I do want to get Jason in here and talk about kind of the whole process. And, you know, now that it's been, I guess, only a month and a half-ish. Yeah, that's probably about right. It was right after, no, it was early December when Bronco left, right? So, yeah, about a month. What's today, the 20th? Yeah, a little over a month. All right, 505-246-0610 if you'd like to get in today. Emails, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. I want to get on the Matthew Stafford thing because it feels weird that he's got a decision. He's played 16 seasons. He's 36. And it says he's going to take some time to figure out what he wants to do. Quote, as far as my future goes, it's 30 minutes after the last game, so I'll take some time to think about it. But I feel like I was playing pretty good ball. That was part of his quote. He was asked if he has good football left in him. Sure feels like it, he said. I mean, unless he doesn't want to play, this is an easy answer, isn't it? I mean, he's back. He's your quarterback if you're the Rams, right?
I think it's something that we've discussed with the Rams over the last couple of seasons, whether it was Sean McVay or Stafford dealing with some injuries, just thinking, you know, how much longer he wants to play. I expect him to be back. But I think it's more of they had that conversation before, so it was asked again. I don't think there's any doubt that he would come back right now being healthy and seeing where this team is, knowing that the defense is going to be very strong. They're young there. You have the pieces in place offensively. You have the coaching staff. You're in a really good position.
There's not 10 guys that you want before, right? There about 9-8 guys that you would take before Stafford right now in the NFL? I mean, just to go play one season?
I don't even know if it would take you that long to get there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you take the obvious suspects, the young ones, Mahomes and Jackson and Allen and Burrow. And, I mean, maybe you would go with Hurts and maybe, I don't know, Jalen Daniels at this point or Jaden Daniels. But then the list gets pretty short, doesn't it? You want him over you 1 year, next year you want him or Jordan Love. Kind of want him.
Oh, in 1 year setting, you could argue Matthew Stafford's number 5.
Yeah. I think it's a fair argument. Yeah.
Because you're comparing him at that point
with the Dak Prescotts and all the young ones.
Yeah.
Right?
And the young one is Jaden Daniels, who it's going to be crazy the fact that after 1 year, when you have these quarterback conversations, you're going to get to say he's going to have a winning playoff record.
You want him or Jared Goff 1 year?
McDaniels, man.
Stafford or Goff, though.
Stafford.
Yeah. Stafford or Goff. I mean, Stafford or Hurts. That's a fair question.
Like Matthew Stafford.
Right? And some people would go the other way. After that, there's not that many, man. No, the answer is Matthew Stafford if he wants to play. And my gut tells me how much money. First of all, what's his contract for next year? Is he going to make $50 million? I mean, I don't know. No matter how much money you got, I'm going to guess you don't want another $50 million. 45, whatever the number happens to be. Right? I'm just going to guess. People kind of like that kind of money. 20 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 3,700 plus yards. Been with the Rams for 4 years. I know you don't go into the Hall of Fame wearing a hat, like in baseball. You got to declare a team for your plaque. Is he going to be a Lion or a Ram when you remember Matthew Stafford? He's a Ram because that's where he won the Super Bowl, right?
Yes. I will remember him as a Ram because I think Matthew Stafford is a very fascinating case study for multiple young quarterbacks. And I've said it multiple times. I do have the Stafford vibe with Justin Herbert. Now, I think he might not have to leave franchises to get it done if you can build some success now with Harbaugh running that organization, but you see the talent, but even it's so much more than that to win at the NFL level, even when you have that quarterback, because of just run it down, man. The history of the Lions up until that point, finally when Dan Campbell was able to turn it on over the last couple of years of immensely talented player, tough organization. But when you think back on Stafford, he is elevated to this point of a Hall of Famer because of what he's done in Los Angeles.
He's a Hall of Famer, is he not? I mean, he is, right? If you're going to tell me Eli is now, Eli's got 2 championships. I was listening to a conversation the other day that Eli's a better quarterback than Stafford. And I'm like, whoa. Like, to me, it's not even close. Stafford, my eyes told me Stafford was a better quarterback throughout his career, but he only won 1 Super Bowl and Eli won 2.
Eli Manning's postseason is kind of like Derek Jeter, like in the biggest moments.
Yeah.
But when you maybe talk about best shortstops of all time or most wildness, maybe Jeter's not that dude.
Yeah, but Jeter never had bad years.
No, but I'm just trying to equate it to Jeter was good overall.
Right.
But the thing with Eli Manning, he had some down years, but he's also just one of those guys you look at and you never it wasn't like, oh man, Eli Manning, you see the way he throws the football, you see what he looks like. No, he was just the goofy little brother that won 2 Super Bowls.
Beat Tom Brady in both of them. Like, if he'd have beat somebody who wasn't Tom Brady at the time,
people would use it against him, even though he's a Super Bowl champion. Like, well, you just beat Nick Foles.
But that elevates it, doesn't it? He beat Tom Brady twice. He didn't just win 2 rings. He beat Tom Brady twice.
One of them was when the Patriots
were undefeated. Yeah. And a run for the greatest team of all time. Yes. All right, 505-246-0610. Conference title, should that be a bye in college football? I mean, like a regular season conference title. The ACC is starting to think about, well, maybe we do things differently and how we determine our champion. We still play a championship game, but how's that going to work? It's going to be actually really kind of weird if that's where this goes. Interesting, weird. 505-246-0610. Hey, snow and rain, the weather's hitting, right? We're going to maybe get some snow this week. Can leave your car covered in dirt and mud, road salt stains. All this can damage your car's paint over time. If you want to prevent paint damage, I strongly recommend my friends over at On the Spot Automotive Detailing. On the Spot Automotive Detailing offers top-notch treatments that protect your vehicle from the harsh weather. Plus, you can invest in their paint protection and ceramic coating and get yourself an extra layer of defense. What do they also do? Detail your vehicle at your convenience, where it works for you, when it works for you. That means they come to you with their mobile unit. You don't take your vehicle to them, and they detail your vehicle. Detail is like the car dealers do, like the day you took it off the lot clean, inside, outside, around the rims, under the hood, like all those little spots, that new car feel. You can have that new car feel without getting a new car. It's on the spot automotive detailing. Great gift. Valentine's Day is coming up. I think this would be a good one. I mean, I don't know, flowers, chocolate, or the feel of a brand new vehicle. You figure it out yourself. You know your partner better than I. But don't wait until it's too late. Book with On the Spot Automotive Detailing. It's all online. OTSdetailing.com. OTSdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong and we're still as local as red and green.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Blue Bell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud.
But I really want to get into this conversation on what the ACC is thinking about doing with their football championship game. Basically giving their regular season champion a bye, calling them the champion and hoping that they will get that automatic bid into the college football playoff, parking them, so to speak, and then playing 2 versus 3. But what if 2 or 3 is ranked higher than number 1? How can that be, Jeff? Well, you could have a situation where, let's just say, SMU would have gone undefeated in the ACC, but lost maybe twice in the non-conference. They'd be your number 1 team, but you could have a 1-loss Clemson who could be ranked higher than them. That would be your playoff team, and then they lose to number 3, and it could hurt you as well, right? There's scenarios where it could come up and bite you as well, can it?
Yes, it's one. I think every league is just going to start thinking about ways to maximize numbers in the CFP. How do you get more than 1 team in there? I don't know how you would handle that, like the statement from the playoff committee. If a league just straight says, hey, this team is the best in regular season, they're not playing a championship.
They're our champion.
But we're having these 2 teams play.
Yeah, because we want to make
add
money
to their resume.
Or we want to make money. I know. I want to get into it more. 505-246-0610. Fred, thanks for holding around the sports animal. Hi, Fred.
Hey, Jeff. Hey, I wanted to talk about the lady, though, but I also want to mention about the men that, just adding Phillip to Den and Washington and Amzell and Joseph from last year's team that's such a key. I mean, a 6'9" guard. So I just wanted to praise the Lobos for beating Boise and beating San Diego State like they did in 1 week. It's just amazing. But I want to talk about the women though, because Bradbury's done an unbelievable. I can't believe the job he's done. He's added 9 players to the team. And Hargroves turned out to be a heck of a point guard now. And that Hooks, she's going to get you 16, 17 points every game. The big surprise of all is, and I'm going to have JJ pronounce her last name, is that Joanna. She's 5'5" guard, and what a tough little guard she is. And she scored 16 points 2 games ago, 20 points Saturday. And then my favorite one is the same as JJ's, is Cumbers. This girl plays when she's sick. I still remember when she was throwing up before the game against San Diego State, and she played almost the whole dang game. She just such a tough gal. And then what's kind of neat is the big girls, Moreland and that Jacqueline, it's kind of neat because they can just alternate the two of them, and they'll get you 15 points and 10 rebounds. So it's a pretty dang solid team. And then to beat Colorado State, who we never do there, and we never beat San Diego State away, beating Wyoming, who barely lost to UNLV yesterday. So it's just a great job he's doing. I just want to praise Bradbury and the girls, and more people ought to go out and watch this girls team. It's really a neat team, and it's pretty neat to have first place men's team and second place women's team and kicking butt right now. So that's about all, guys.
All right, Fred.
Talk to you
Appreciate
later.
it. Yeah. And I'll lean on you a little bit because certainly it's your beat. But the job that Bradbury did, look, when they lost the opener to NAU, it was almost 3 days in Vegas right off the top.
Yeah, and that's the Mountain West right now. It is. It's a one-bid league that people have to get better and not just keep pace with UNLV, but put themselves in position. And that is a bigger gap in women's basketball for the non-power conferences to be in a multi-bid league. But just from the standpoint of getting better every single day, and we love to talk about those cliches, that's exactly what this team has done. Because there were some moments in non-conference play where I know people were just like, well, this team's already lost 4 games. This team's already lost 5 games. And it was rough. But watching this team play, to win on the road, 3 conference road wins already, to be up 26-10 at Colorado State. Yeah, they had to hold on, and Colorado State started hitting threes, got to the foul line. They're winning these games. And this was a team early in the season that I don't think people saw this at all.
Did you?
No. To be 5-1 in Mountain West play right now?
Yeah.
No. But they have this vibe around them where they do embrace that. Like last year, come out of nowhere, go 12-6, come into this season, and yeah, there's a lot of turnover, but then everyone's like, well, we're going to be 6th place in the league. And here they are, 5-1 start.
Back at it tomorrow. They'll be in Logan against Utah State, a team that is 1-17. JJ will have that call from the D. Glenn Smith Spectrum. Is that right? DJ Glenn Smith Spectrum in beautiful Logan, Utah. 505-246-0610. Your Final Four is set in the National Football League. Who you got? Chiefs and Bills, Eagles and Commandos. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbiota, JJ Buck. Thank you for being with us on this holiday Monday morning on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66, built by generations past.
The year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
Holiday morning. Thanks for being with us on the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Bach. 1 hour away from the inauguration of a new president. Lots going on this Martin Luther King Day. 505-246-0610 if you want to get in and talk some sports with us. Coming off a weekend where you saw 4 really interesting football games. Chiefs beat the Texans 23-14. The Commanders beat the Lions, the number 1 seed. The NFC went down 45-31 at home. Jaden Daniels went bonkers. The Eagles beat the Rams, held off Matthew Stafford's comeback 28-22 in the snow in Pennsylvania. And then last night, the Buffalo Bills held off the Ravens 27-25. So it'll be Bills and Chiefs, Eagles and Commandos. The winners will go to the Super Bowl. It's the opening drive, 505-246-0610. Biggest story is either, and they're all big, the number 1 seed going down, the Lions, the way they got beat at home by 14, or the Bills-Ravens game, which was just the marquee matchup, and the way it went down, the 3 turnovers by the Ravens, the drop by Mark Andrews. I want to say the bigger story overall is the number 1 seed going down, but I can be swayed out of that.
The bigger story is Jaden Daniels and the Commanders and what they did to the Lions.
Doesn't diminish how big the Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen showdown was, because it was, whilst not going to be, I don't believe, the definitive chapter in either one of their legacies, it will be the latest chapter in one's legacy having the opportunity to move forward whilst the others was held back. Does that make sense?
Yes. What we got in that game was what people were expecting. A 1 possession, 1 play type of game. And it came down to a drop 2-point conversion to tie the game, to put the pressure back on Josh Allen, who played a fantastic game, didn't make mistakes, ran the football well in the low red zone, and got the job done. But for the Lions, it's after the fact people are bringing up the discussion of how many defensive players were out. Dude, that
because
they were favored by how much?
9,
going in that game?
9.5, something like that.
It was a 9.5 point spread.
Yeah.
Coming off what they did to the Minnesota Vikings to earn the number 1 seed, to get the bye, to get home field advantage. And it wasn't just the defense that was bad. Jared Goff made mistakes, and Jaden Daniels looked like the guy that's been in the league 5 years.
Damn. Is Jaden Daniels going to end up being better than Caleb Williams? He was as a rookie.
Yes.
We had a conversation all summer that Caleb Williams, and it wasn't just us, this was almost universally accepted mantra, and which is very rare, that Caleb Williams was walking into the best situation a rookie quarterback has walked into in, I mean, Lord knows, since Andrew Luck, maybe even better than that, right? Andrew Luck was walking into what Peyton Manning left behind, but that was a team that, again, drafted really high. The Bears were picking first because they had Carolina's pick, right? They weren't the worst team in the league, and you're like, whoa, he's got DJ Moore, and they drafted Roma Dunze, and they got Keenan Allen, and they got DeAndre Swift, and they've got everything you want, and they've got, a good defense. The absolute universal thought was, while Jaden Daniels isn't walking into something that's bare, Terry McLaurin's a really good receiver, and they gave him Cliff Kingsbury. What the Bears had, what Caleb Williams had, was the best setup for any rookie quarterback, and it's not arguable who was better in year one. Now, I'm not ready to just call it game, set, match with a sample size of one season, but Jaden Daniels looks really freaking good.
Jaden Daniels looks special. He looks even better than C.J. Stroud did last year, and C.J. Stroud had what we thought was the best rookie season to that point, just stats-wise, winning a playoff game. Then this dude goes out there and wins 2 road playoff games. Has people going, man, we have to stop disrespecting the Commanders in terms of the spread.
Mm-hmm. Because we both picked Tampa Bay the week before. Yeah. Tampa Bay was a 3-point favorite over. We both took Tampa Bay. We did. Yeah. So, give me Baker Mayfield over the rookie. Oh, yeah. Give me Jalen Hurts over the rookie.
And now
I'm sorry, Jared Goff over the rookie.
And now going into this, you say this is 6 points, and I'm thinking Washington just because I keep doubting them. Am I ready to pick them to beat Philadelphia in this situation?
Look,
no, but
and
we did see them beat the Eagles late in the season.
They did. That was without Jalen Hurts, right? Now, the one team that we've talked about the least is the Eagles. Okay. The Eagles are a team who many of us, and I'll be one of them, said going into the season had the best overall roster in the NFL, right? There's no surprise that the Eagles are here. If the Eagles win the damn Super Bowl, nobody's going to be surprised, right? And now that the number 1 seed's out of the way and they're playing a 6th seed, you're like, they get them at home and they look really good. They were a team that we thought had the best roster and added the best running back in the game. Derrick Henry has been that guy. Saquon Barkley is that guy. I'm not taking anything away from Derrick Henry. Saquon Barkley is the best running back in the game. We got an argument?
What is there to argue?
There isn't, right? The difference was that dude, what he went in there and just did. And Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore's done a hell of a job finding ways to maximize both Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. The Giants didn't get this out of Saquon Barkley, did they? They didn't have nearly the offensive line when he was healthy. They didn't have nearly
2,000 yard season.
No.
He had a year where I think he had like 5 or 6 50-plus yard touchdown runs.
Best offensive line in the game, and they're healthy, right? I mean, how you keep them together, you keep them healthy, and then you get an innovative play caller in there, and you got that double threat. And by the way, the tush push, the brotherly shove, whatever it is, unfreaking stoppable. And we're not talking about the Eagles at all. And I get it, and we will as we go forward. We absolutely will. It was more about the teams who didn't get it done. Let me go back to the Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen thing. So there was a time in the AFC where you were either kind of a Brady guy or a Manning guy, right? And there was a rivalry. I almost feel like it's that way with those two guys because Mahomes is a different cat because he's won a few. Right? Do you have to choose a side? I don't know that I'm feeling that. I feel like there's mutual respect. Although, boy, the Josh Allen doubters have been there in mass.
Josh Allen doubters, Lamar Jackson doubters. A lot of that, too, is because these guys are also this season placed head-to-head in the MVP battle. So you're making your case for one or the other. And a lot of times when that happens, it's hard for people to have a discussion where you say this guy's better without someone feeling like you're saying the other guy sucks.
It's LeBron and Michael, right? If Josh Allen gets the Super Bowl, and I don't know if you feel he has to win it. I mean, this is kind of why Joe Burrow is in the conversation. Joe Burrow does not have an MVP. Joe Burrow's been to a Super Bowl. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson have not. Would you rather have 2 or 3 MVPs, or you rather get to the Super Bowl? The answer is go to the Super Bowl, isn't it?
Yep.
So where is this on Lamar? I want to be fair about the conversation. And everybody's having it, and whoever did not win this game was going to have to eat this. And you know what? If Josh Allen loses next week, he's probably going to have to eat the same conversation, right?
I do think part of that discussion, too, is how did they play? What did it look like? What did their team do about, the whole eating it perspective?
Yeah. Who played better yesterday?
It was Josh Allen. What was the difference in that game? It was what happened after the turnovers for the Ravens.
It flat out was the turnovers. Because if you look at the numbers straight up, I'm going to tell you Jackson threw for 254 and Josh Allen threw for 127. Josh Allen didn't throw for a touchdown. Lamar threw for 2. Now, Josh Allen ran for 2 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson turned the ball over twice. He had a fumble and an interception. Therein lies the difference. Take care of the damn football. Who played better? The guy who didn't make mistakes, right? I mean, was Josh Allen spectacular yesterday? I don't know. He might have been robbed of a chance to be. I know if you were with us the whole day, you've heard me say this, but I know the audience turns. This whole national narrative that Mark Andrews dropped the ball that was going to send the game to overtime is insanity to me. Yeah, he dropped the ball that would have tied the game. Boys and girls, there was 1:33 left. Josh Allen's the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills, and he had 2 timeouts left. Like, I'm going to tell you, I think you had a 75 to 80% chance of taking them down and winning the damn game in regulation. If you were going to bet with 1:33, one way or the other, be honest with yourself. All right, the game's tied at 27. Josh Allen's getting the ball back with 1:33 in that situation and 2 timeouts. Would you have bet the game's going to overtime, or you betting the Bills win?
Bills win.
We all bet that way, don't we?
Jim.
Right, Jim? Josh is going to have the ball. Josh has the ball. Jim? No, we're all betting on Allen in that situation, aren't we?
Josh Allen's looking a little Mahomesy.
My feeling when Lamar threw that touchdown pass was, there's too much time on the clock. I absolutely felt that way. But all I hear is, it would have gone to overtime. I just don't think so. So with all that said and done, Mark Andrews got to catch the ball. I don't know, man. I almost feel like we were robbed of a Josh Allen moment. I do.
How dare Mark Andrews take away what should have been a bigger moment for Josh Allen.
I totally feel that. I wonder, I'm watching Josh Allen just sit there calmly on the bench. I don't know, man. Give me my chances. I'll take the chances with Josh Allen with 1:33 and 2 timeouts and a chance to go down and win the game.
Josh Allen is Josh Allen to you is what Justin Herbert is to me. You just get that feeling of you're just like, there's just that sense of
their kicker was 2 for 2. Had a 51-yarder. Tell me he's not getting lined me up for a 40-yard field goal and win the game. You start at the 30-yard line anyway, right?
That would have been a heck of a kick at that point in time of the game, too.
I just, my money was all on Josh Allen at that point. All right, 505-246-0610. You know what we haven't talked much about? Mahomes. We'll hit that. Global basketball today. How'd the Aggies do over the weekend? Remember, they were undefeated in conference play going into the weekend. Touch base on them as well in the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
Dirty Boys present Fill in the Hole.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action.
And what the ACC is thinking about doing in regards to football. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. I'll hit that in a minute. Louisville basketball today, 3 o'clock. 2:30 pregame show over on News Radio KKOB. Robert Portnoy, Hunter Green will have the call. Lobos and Fresno State out at the pit. Aggies over the weekend were in Lynchburg, Virginia, coming off their win at FIU, take their first conference loss of the year. 68-60, Liberty beat New Mexico State, so the Aggies are now tied for first place in the conference with a 4-1 league record. All right, we've listened to arguments back and forth, and again, we got a sample size of one on this new college football playoff. We've watched 1 year, and SMU was the regular season champion in the ACC. lost their conference championship game, and had to kind of sweat it out on selection day to see if they'd get in. Ohio State did not get into their conference championship game. They were seated solidly at number 8. Now they're playing for a national championship. Are the conference championship games worth it for teams to play in? The ACC is trying to figure out a way to protect their regular season champion. Their commissioner is Jim Phillips, and he said yesterday that their league is having conversations with athletic directors and coaches about whether they should change their conference championship game format. He said that his league, the ACC, could consider giving their regular season champion a bye, or in his words, you park them, and have the teams that finish second or third in the league play in the ACC championship game. Or the last couple of weekends of the last weekend of the regular season have 4 versus 1, 2 versus 3, and then the 2 winners playing the championship game. I think either way you do it is a risk, JJ. The only way to not risk your champion is to not have a championship game, but you lose a whole lot of money, so you're not risking the money. I laid you out a situation where it could hurt you, right? Your number 2 team could be higher seeded than your 1 seed. How can that be, Jeff? Well, if your 2 seed didn't lose a game in the non-conference and is, let's just say, ranked 6th or 5th, they have a 1-loss conference record. Or hell, the way, JJ, they could both be undefeated going in the way you got 16-team conferences, right? Who you parking? I appreciate them really, really looking into figuring out how to protect their teams. I'm just not sure I'm ready to overreact to a sample size of 1 yet and change everything up.
I'm right there with you. In these conferences, you know what they're going to do is they're going to force the hand of the playoff committee and say, all right, how are you going to deal with this? When we do this move, what are you actually going to do? The only thing that, and it wasn't just because of the outcome, but I've thought maybe not 100% on board with, is the guaranteeing a conference championship. I mean, a bye to a conference championship. I think at some point, if you're putting 12 teams in, just rank them however you think they are overall. But we are seeing the initial reaction, but the committee, everyone, even the powers that be have told you there's not a dramatic change coming at all next season. It's, to your point, not overreacting to a sample size of 1.
Nor do I think there should be. That means they're not going to add teams. That means they're not. I don't know that they might change the seeding process. They might, right? Which means you don't have to be a conference champion to be seeded 1 through 4 and have that first round bye. I don't see a trend and or a swell of sentiment to having more on-campus games, although there were people in the media who seem to like the on-campus games more, as opposed to putting them in the bowl games. I think there still is a sentiment within the conference and the conference commissioners to include bowl games. So do you feel the same way?
I think when you get to a certain point, I think that is so cool that we get that.
Which part?
The home sites.
Okay. Unless you were SMU having to go up to play at Penn State or Indiana having to play at Notre Dame.
Well, then be better.
Mm-hmm. I get it.
So you can get one of those home games.
Yeah, I get
it. Because at some point, it can't just all be bowl games, because that's impossible for fans. Especially if your team's good, you'll be like, oh, now you got to follow them all these places. Like, at least having that home game gives the fans something in the CFP.
Yeah. So you want more home games?
I think the challenge is, I love the atmosphere. I understand at some point you want to incorporate your brands into the rotation, because it's the New Year's Six, the Rose Bowl, all this stuff. But I also can understand where you're like, wait, I was good enough this season to get a bye, but then I don't get a home game. But something has to give in this format.
Well, you get a bye. What would you rather have, a bye or a home game?
And there you go.
I mean, which one would you rather have? You advanced, you got healthy.
At this point,
all those teams that had buys lost. I know. I know. The way, but again, I got a sample size of 1, and so I'm not ready to blow this whole thing up. I think the answer is watch it play. I'd like to watch it play it out for the next cycle. and then figure things out. It feels like you've made it better. You can tweak it to the point where it's not better, right? It's the whole NCAA tournament thing, which is a big deal too. I mean, you can tweak it where it's just, are you making it better, or you're just tweaking it? Text line. Sorry about your Aggies on Saturday, Jeffrey. Oh, it says Augies. Isn't it crazy, right? Lobo fan, I'm an Aggie, and Aggie fan, I'm a Lobo. Is that right?
So you're doing it right.
Yeah, they all hate me. I'm okay with it. Sorry about your Augies on Saturday, Jeffrey. Would you say? Did you say to that guy, sorry about your Lobos on Tuesday?
Sorry about your Augies.
Yeah. What about the Lobos on Tuesday? It's a worse loss, losing at San Jose State or losing at Liberty.
It doesn't matter. Did you see them on Friday night?
I did. I was there. Yeah, they were as good as I've seen them in a long, long time. Yeah, I did. Really, really good. My Aggies. All right, 505-246-0610. Emails jeff@sportsanimалabq.com. JJ@sportsanimалabq.com. You may want to blame Mark Andrews for the loss. What did Lamar Jackson, his quarterback, have to say? It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. On 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub, official sandwich of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Mark Andrews has been a hell of a player for the Baltimore Ravens for the last however long. Dropped the ball, fumbled the ball. Frustrating finish. A lot of people are blaming Mark Andrews. Again, let me remind you, there's going to be a minute 33, and Josh Allen was going to get the ball back with 2 timeouts, even if the game was tied. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. Lamar Jackson refused to blame Mark Andrews, who dropped that pass. The reigning NFL MVP was more, I don't know, directed his anger, his attention to the 3 turnovers that his team committed. Quote, every time we in situations like this, turnovers play a factor. We can't have that bleep. And that's why we lost the game. As you can see, we're moving the ball wonderfully. It's hold on to the bleeping ball. I'm sorry for my language. This bleep is annoying. I'm tired of this bleep. End quote. He had 2 of those turnovers. I appreciate. I mean, what do you want him to do? And people always say, "What do you want him to say?" And I don't know what do you expect somebody to say, and whatever. John Harbaugh, the head coach, said, "There's nobody that has more heart, cares, and fights more than Mark Andrews. We wouldn't be here without Mark Andrews. Destiny is a decision that you make and how you handle what comes in your life. Mark will handle it fantastic." Andrews didn't speak to the media, and I'm sure everybody wanted to talk to him, and everybody loves that moment and see a guy who's distraught and feels like he cost them the game. I thought that his teammates, specifically his quarterback and his head coach, handled it the right way, said the right things, and you just don't throw your guy under the bus. It's a guy who's made a lot of big plays for you. A lot of big plays for you. Before that game, by the way, Mark Andrews had not dropped the pass since week 6. In the divisional game, he dropped 2, including that one, and he had a fumble. I appreciate the way they handled it. And JJ, maybe that's how you got to handle it as leaders. I don't know. Because it's easy, again, everybody with a thumb's throwing them under the bus.
Yeah, it's the sign of not just good leaders, but a solid organization where everyone's on the same page. Everyone is hurting because of that loss. And the last thing you need is the coach or the quarterback to do what everyone else is doing. As you said, that has thumbs, and that's pointing at Mark Andrews.
Dan, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Dan.
How you doing there, boss?
Good.
I was going to tell you, what do you think about the Philadelphia Ram game? I'll get up this here in a second. I was hoping that my Rams were going to win because I thought they were the better team, but somehow they blew it because they couldn't contain that running back, Barkley. I'll get off the air and I'll hear your answer.
Yeah. A couple of things. And let's go back to the theme of the day. Turnovers. Right? Rams had the 2 turnovers. The Kyron Williams fumble was huge. The Matthew Stafford fumble was huge. They turned into points, and that's what got you behind. Do I think the Rams were better? I don't know if I think they were better. I think they were as good as the Eagles. I think they were in a position where they could have won the game. They were in a position where I kind of thought that they were going to win the game. I thought at the end of it, Matthew Stafford, especially when he hit that long pass to Puka Nacua and got him down about the 20-yard line, I thought they were going to pop it in. But when you put yourself behind, when you make a bunch of turnovers, when you give the ball to the other team, and then you can't stop that running back, who, by the way, I might have voted for MVP. And I've told you that before yesterday. Like I get it, it's a quarterback award, and both those quarterbacks had terrific seasons. I might have voted for Saquon Barkley MVP. How about the Rams game? The Rams were right there, man. And it's kind of encouraging if you're a Rams fan because Nakua's young, Kupp's in his prime. I think you still have a year or 2 out of really good Stafford and a defense that I got to believe is just going to get better.
Well, what's encouraging is no one's getting paid right now. And that's what happens, right? Is when someone gets paid, everyone loses their minds. And you can't have a team anymore. You can't develop talent because someone got paid a lot of money. Like Stafford's kind of locked in where he's at as a 36-year-old. He's not going to come back and be like, you need to pay me $70 million next year. Like they can ride with Puka.
Yeah.
Cup is
how many millions?
Huh?
70? Did you say?
Yeah.
Is that what he's?
It's going that direction. The quarterbacks, man. It's going that direction.
All right, go on.
And
I'm sorry.
It's all the rookies on defense.
Yeah.
And so what you're able to do is now this is when you can add a position or two. It's like, oh, we want to solidify, a spot in a secondary, or solidify a spot on the offensive line. The Rams are in a very good spot to still be in this position to win multiple playoff games over the next year or two.
Matthew Stafford is only scheduled to make $23 million next year, plus a $4 million roster bonus. So it's 27. So if he's going to stick around, Rams going to have to pay him. His cap hit is almost $50 million. So if the Rams cut him, they don't save any money against the cap. If he retires, it changes the equation a little bit. But he's only going to make $27 million, so they're going to have to redo his deal for him to stick around, right? I mean, I got to believe they will. I guess they don't have to.
They don't have to.
Yeah. I mean,
didn't they do that going into this season?
They restructured, I believe. Yeah, but if he wants to play, I mean, I don't know, is $27 million good for you? Is it way below market value? Sure as hell is. He had a good day, dude. 26 of 44, 324 yards, 2 touchdowns. He took 5 sacks and lost the fumble. Quote, I'm playing some pretty good ball. Yeah, you are. Scheduled to make $23 million plus a $4 million roster bonus. He has a cap hit of $49.6 million. The Rams cut him. They saved nothing against the salary cap. It seems like he was implying that he's not going to retire, but if the Rams are going to decide to go in a different direction, that's up to them. They'd also guarantee that Stafford gets the $4 million that he negotiated last year. He had 20 touchdown passes, which is his lowest total in a full season since 2012. But they were one drive away, a couple of plays away from getting to the NFC Championship game. Since the Rams won the Super Bowl, he's got 54 touchdowns, 27 interceptions, and 40 regular season games. They're 1-2 in the playoffs since that. Now, does that tell the whole story? I don't think any one stat, any two stats tell the whole story. I got to believe he's coming back. Like, there's a lot of things I'm thinking about that might or might not happen for next year. But I can't see a scenario that he's not their quarterback next year.
You don't get. I think some of it too is, again, it's rumored with Sean McVay. It's rumored with Matt Stafford. We saw Aaron Donald step away, so that's kind of on the minds of Rams and everyone in that Ram locker room that's covering the team. But I'm with you. I think Stafford's back. You look at it and go, okay, they have the best quarterback in their division.
Yeah.
Should go in as the favorites next year over the mighty San Francisco 49ers.
Depending on how everything goes in the offseason. But yeah, as you sit here right now, yeah.
As constructed, that's a better football team than the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
And yeah, I get it. Brock Purdy's won games. They run it back. They'll be right there. But I think it's time to say, all right, the Rams are the team to beat in that division next year.
Do you think I think there is a world where Brock Purdy makes more money than Matthew Stafford next year, and you could say, what are we doing, right? But I could see where if the Rams don't redo his deal where he makes 23 plus the 4, so he's making $27 million. Brock Purdy signs for $45 million a year, right? Like he's going to almost make double what Matthew Stafford makes.
He could become, depending on where it slots with the contract with Kyler Murray, Brock Purdy could be the highest paid quarterback in that division.
Crazy, right? What's Kyler Murray making?
It was like a 200 plus deal.
What is Kyler Murray to you? Like what are they? What are the Cardinals? I told you, they were horrible 2 years ago. I told you in the offseason, I really thought they were going to be one of my surprise teams, them and the Vikings. One really panned out and one kind of I mean, the Cardinals were fine. They were fine at times. They were right. They battled around until the last 2 weeks of the season. They were fine.
Kyler Murray leaves you wanting more.
Right?
Feels like you should be getting more out of that team.
If you were them, is he your guy for?
Yes,
he has to be because.
Well, you signed him, and at some point, it's the.
Yeah.
I understand when you're getting paid, it raises expectations, but I'm also that franchise owner. And Kyler Murray is a talented quarterback, and it's the everyone wants to move on because it's C.J. Stroud, Jaden Daniels. What we've seen. So there's like, bleep this guy, let's go draft the quarterback high and be awesome. Because we've been spoiled with some rookie quarterback play, but you conveniently forget the other rookies that weren't as good those few years.
Is C.J. Stroud better than Kyler Murray? I'm not ready to say definitively he is. His team went further.
He's got 2 playoff wins.
He does. And you can argue, look, Kyler Murray had Marvin Harrison, he had James Conner. He had one of the best pass catching tight ends in the league in McBride. Like there's weapons in Arizona.
Again, when I talk about quarterbacks in the NFL, I'm not saying that they shouldn't be questioned. You shouldn't move on. I know people probably laugh at my Justin Herbert takes all the time, but when you have a quarterback that is good, all right, he might be overpaid, but talent wise, when you have teams that are starving to find those guys, you still go back to work and try to build around them.
You got to hope they get better and make plays when it matters. Like with all due respect, I hate saying this about a guy who's a 2-time, maybe 3-time MVP. You got to hope that he's better and make plays when it matters. Lamar Jackson. Like with as good as a crazy, people are telling me he might be the greatest quarterback we've ever seen. He does some of the craziest bleep we've ever seen. But when it matters, he turns the damn ball over in the playoffs. Period. Is he the reason they lost yesterday? He's a reason they lost yesterday. Yeah. But if Mark Andrews catches that ball, they go to overtime. I don't know that. The other dude's getting the ball with 1:33 and 2 timeouts. And by the way, he's really flipping good too. You know why you were in that position? Because you turned the ball over 3 times. You turned it over twice. Your team turned it over 3 times. You know what Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes did not do? And Justin Hurts, they did not turn the ball over. And Jaden Daniels, they didn't turn the damn ball over. When it matters. Sometimes interceptions are your fault. Sometimes they're not. You know what? The fumble by Lamar was his fault. He wasn't even getting hit. He was changing hands. He dropped the football. The interception was a bad pass. At some point, it's not all on him, but you hope they make plays when it matters. Isn't that what you just said? You got a guy, Kyler Murray, Lamar. I don't care who it is, man. You get one of those guys, you just got to hope they get better and make plays when it matters.
And I understand that the contracts affect what you do, but you still have opportunities as an organization with draft picks, with the ability to sign undrafted free agents, sign free agents. Like, not every free agent signing is going to be the guy that's making you $100 million. That's correct. And so when I look at a Herbert or a Kyler Murray or these guys that, because of their contract, they're viewed as no good, let's move on. I don't initially feel that way, because then I look at other franchises that are just starving for anything.
That's right.
And you get caught in between as a fan, because you get hit over the head with rookie quarterback contract. That's when you win. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it. Jaden Daniels is there.
Patrick Mahomes isn't on a rookie
quarterback. But it's Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and it's not on rookie quarterback contract.
All right, we'll wrap it up when we get back. Everything you got to know as you go through your Monday. What to look forward to, because it's a big, big sports day as well as a big news day. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. but it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part,
so that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it. You make my heart better.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM.
Hey, Martin Luther King Day. Lobo basketball plays today. They'll be wearing the yellow statehood jerseys. Lobos and Fresno State men's basketball. Out at the pit, they have a 3 o'clock tip time today. 2:30 pregame over on News Radio KKOB. Robert Portnoy and Hunter Green will have that call for you. Then tonight, you get the championship game of the college football playoff. That is Ohio State and Notre Dame. Game starts at 5:30 our time. The Buckeyes are an 8.5-point favorite. The game is in Atlanta, Georgia. And you can catch that game. I believe it's an ESPN, not ABC game, ESPN game to watch that game tonight. So that'll wrap up college football season as well. So that's what you got today. A little bit of women's basketball back at it tomorrow. JJ will be in Logan, Utah with the ladies. They play a 1-17 Utah State club. It's just amazing. Have you watched Utah State at all? Have you seen any of them? Are they as bad as the one? I mean, 1-17 is bad, and it's like, dude, yeah, they're bad. But this is a club, again, that fired their coach before she hit the podium when they lost the conference tournament last year. We were all sitting there stunned. Like, she was asked about next year. It's like, yeah, I don't know. It's still my job no more.
This is not the San Jose State conversation for the Lobo men, where you look and say, oh, no, they're playing teams tight. They're getting outscored by about 14 points per game in conference play.
So just don't get caught.
Yeah, they have a senior guard, Shannon Stubbs, 5'5", volume shooter, scoring 17 points per game. It's one of those players that, like, will get her numbers because she does everything. Just don't let a couple other players hit threes.
Yeah, just don't get caught. Just go up there and take care of business. It's going to be cold. It's going to be a long trip. This is one of those, right? I mean, it is. You charter into Ogden, you bus up another hour, go up through the mountains. It's cold. It's snowy. It's gorgeous. It's like a snow globe town up there when you go into the Cache Valley. It's beautiful. Just don't get caught. You can see Bronco while you're up there?
Sure, he would be excited to see the Lobos.
I'm sure he will. All right, so that's what you got. You got your Final Four. This is what people are going to be talking about. I mean, everybody's going to be talking about the Buffalo win over Baltimore yesterday, 27-25. Josh Allen threw for 127 yards and ran for 2 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson threw for 2, but had the interception and the fumble. So they will play the Chiefs, the Buffalo Bills, in the AFC Championship game because the Chiefs were winners on Saturday, 23-14 over the Texans. Commanders beat the Lions on Saturday night. They'll play the Eagles, who beat the Rams 28-22. So what's everybody going to be talking about? They're going to be talking about quarterbacks and legacies and who won and who didn't, because it's all about quarterbacks. They'll be talking about Mark Andrews. When they have the conversation, just don't forget to remind people, yeah, but Josh Allen was going to get the ball back with 1:33 and 2 timeouts. That's all.
That is correct.
We'll never know what would have happened. Never. But I ask every single one of you, if the game's 27-27 and the Bills get the ball back, let's just say at the 25 or 30-yard line, because that's where they probably would have got it. Josh Allen's got the ball with 1:33 and 2 timeouts. You got to place a bet, a significant amount that matters to you. Would you have bet that game goes to overtime? How about this? Would you have bet the Bills win in regulation or there's another outcome? Meaning that they turn it over and Ravens get it or it goes to overtime. I'm going to guess the majority of you would have bet with Josh Allen getting the ball, $1:33 and 2 timeouts and a tie game. Your option is Bills win in overtime or there's another outcome. The majority of you would have bet the Bills win the game in regulation, right?
Yes.
So did Mark Andrews cost him a game? He dropped the ball that would have tied the game up. And at some point, Mark Andrews will speak. And, I mean, look, everybody feels bad for a dude who drops a ball in front of the whole world, right? Tony Romo sat there and stuttered his way through it. He just couldn't even explain what happened. I don't know, Jim. I mean, Jim, the ball's right there, and it just, oh, Jim, you got to catch the ball. Oh, here's another angle of him drop. Oh, Jim.
It's just Jim. The
ball was right there. It was a great call, a good throw. Oh, Jim. Yeah, he just vomited on himself. What else are you going to say, dude? And honestly, I don't know what you want him to say in that moment. With all due respect, and I know Tony Romo at that point is paid to be an analyst and tell me what happened. I mean, how many other ways you want me to say dude dropped football, right? Dude dropped football.
Sometimes that's all you got to say because we all saw it.
Yeah. This will be a narrative as well. Will Anderson is the defensive end for the Houston Texans. We knew it was going to be us versus the refs going into this game. That is a real live talking point for those of you who either A, dislike the Chiefs, or B, were a Texans fan. He was flagged for roughing the passer on a Mahomes incomplete pass. third down during the Chiefs' second drive. He appeared to hit Mahomes in the upper neck area shortly after release. The drive ended in the field goal. The referee's Clay Martin. He said afterwards there was forcible contact to the face and neck area. I had forcible contact to the face mask area, so I went with roughing the passer on the play. All right. Third quarter, Mahomes scrambled. First down, slid. Two Texans collided with really each other. They didn't even hit him. Unnecessary roughness. On that one, the onus is on the defender to avoid contact once Mahomes goes into the slide. So he slid. Obviously, when he slides, he's considered defenseless. The onus is on the defender. The onus. I had forcible contact there to the hairline of the helmet. Did you know a helmet has a hairline?
Yes, it does. Your hairline.
Did you know the helmet had a hairline? I'm not sure I did. So that's the mantra.
Was there a moment where CJ Stroud got smashed and they didn't throw a flag? Other than getting sacked 8 times in that game.
I don't know.
Because that's where then I'd look at and go, okay, what's going on here?
Was there? I don't know.
That okay.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. It's if that happened to CJ Stroud and they threw a flag, then we're going to be like, see, refs are on Texans side.
D'Amico Ryans, the head coach. We knew going into this game, man, it was us versus everybody. And when I say everybody, it's everybody. Knowing that going into this game, what we were up against, we can't make the mistakes that we made. Whether it's special teams not converting our kicks, defensively not being where we're supposed to be in coverage, offensively not protecting our quarterback and keeping him clean. You married that on top of everything else that we have to deal with. It's just going to be a really tough uphill battle, end quote.
The referees miss field goal?
No, that was Kamini Fairbairn.
The referees block one of the field goals?
No. Kamini Fairbairn actually had that thing about, I don't know.
Like, do you know the reason people feel this way? It's because that team gets to this position. And so they think they get every call. No, they're just highlighted because they do what it takes to get for the 7th straight time.
7 in a row, boys and girls. They get the Bills next. Jim Rome Show is not next. The Heard with Colin Cowherd's next. The Jim Rome Show follows that at 1 o'clock. 2 men on at 4. Don't forget Lobo basketball over on News Radio KKOB 2:30 today. They play Fresno State. We're back tomorrow morning with award-winning radio starting at 7 a.m. You in?
Yes.
Are you in tomorrow?
No.
You're not in tomorrow. You're going to be in Logan.
On the show tomorrow.
You are. Here. All right. And ZJ's in. It'll be JJ and ZJ and me. Have a safe travels. Big day for you, I know.
Huge.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. Adrian, great work on the visuals. Thanks for coming in on a holiday. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
The Yeller Sub, located on 7200 Montgomery Boulevard, serves breakfast all day long along with classic hot and cold subs. Don't forget about our shakes, malts and floats made with your favorite Bluebell ice cream. 45 years and still going strong. Come on down to the Yeller Sub. Official sandwich